Sup, sports bettors? Matt Modi here, aka Jedi Modi, coming to you to preview one of the most exciting college football games that we have going on this week for Week 4. We have USC, who is currently the 7th ranked team in the nation, 3-0, going against Oregon State at Oregon State, a home game for Oregon State, who is also 3-0. Great game we have going on here. To say that it has worked out with Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams moving on from Oklahoma to USC, that saying that has worked out, a little bit of an understatement. In the 3 games they have played so far this year, the fewest amount of points they've scored is 41, and that was against Stanford, their bitter rival. So things are rolling at USC in Los Angeles, but they do have a stiff test going up against Oregon State. So figured I would do a preview, look at the odds, see where there is maybe a valuable play, look at the OddsJam Positive EV page, see if there's a valuable play here as well. But starting off, the page you see on the screen here is actually completely free to use. It's the OddsJam line shopping tool. Just go to sports, college football, find the game, or you can use this search bar here, just type in USC. Comes up in the event page right here. But this is all completely free. This line shopping is completely free. So we see, despite being the 7th ranked team in the nation, USC still pretty decently the favorite here at minus 219 in terms of their best odds, minus 219 on their money line. If you wanted to bet Oregon State, it would make sense to do so at plus 205 on Caesars. That's actually not a horrible price. You see BetOnline prices them at plus 195, Sharp Sportsbook. OddsJam, the sharpest sportsbook in the world in terms of pricing odds, prices them at plus 185. Every other book has it, and the plus 180s, plus 190, except for BetMGM at plus 200. But this plus 205 on Caesars was pretty good. So if you thought that Oregon State did have a chance at the upset, would easily, definitely make sense to lock them in on Caesars at plus 205. What I think is more interesting is the point spread. So the main markets we have up here that you could just see from scrolling are the point spreads at USC minus 6.5, 6, or 5.5, depending on where you look. This shows you the importance of line shopping. Right, like if you like Oregon State to cover 6.5, take them at BetMGM or Caesars at plus 6.5. Doesn't make any sense to lock them in at 5.5. If USC wins by 6, you win your 6.5, you lose your 5.5. In the same vein, if you like USC in this matchup, you think they are going to cover, take them at minus 5.5, minus 107 on PointsBet. You could also middle this. Take them. You could take USC 5.5. You could take Oregon State 6.5. If USC wins by exactly 6, you win both your bets. So this just shows you the importance of line shopping. Of course, you shouldn't just blindly take bets because you think a team is going to cover. You should always, always, always look at the math. At any point, it's worth betting on a favorite. It's worth betting on an underdog, depending on what the math, what the markets, what the data shows you. So if you open this in a new tab, it pulls up all of the alternate markets for this game. So we can see not only what the main lines are of each book, but also what every book prices every spread at. And we can see, based on this value, the play is actually Oregon State plus 6.5. The best odds you can get on that are Caesars at minus 110. Looks like the odds changed from when I last had it up too, but BetRivers has it at minus 112. That's pretty good. PointsBet, minus 130. FanDuel, minus 118. DraftKings, minus 125. And then Pinnacle, the most important one of all of these, at minus 122. So if we wanted to see if there was some value here, you just need to put both of these lines on the Pinnacle line, plus 105, minus 122, in a no big fair odds calculator, plus 105, minus 122. Puts the true line of this play at minus 113, and we can get them on Caesars at minus 110, showing you this is a positive expected value bet. So this, I actually really like this one. I like Oregon State to cover. I actually already locked them in at plus 7. I still think I put a full unit on that. I still think they're worth taking at plus 6.5. I do still think that is a really good price, because look at where all the other books are pricing it. BetMGM has them at minus or plus 6. PointsBet, DraftKings, and then important BetOnline has them at plus 5.5. So we're getting a full point difference by locking this in on Caesars. I think that's really good. In terms of the total, it's a high number, right? 70, 70.5, 71. Insane. I still actually do like the total as well. So if you want to open this up in a new tab and see where all the books are pricing it at, the same logic here, right? We want to see where there are outliers and we want to take advantage of those. So there's no plus EV play on the over 70. So while I do like the over, it won't be an official bet, because if you can see, if you remove the VIG here, right, minus 114, minus 102, minus 114, minus 102, puts a true line of this at minus 105, which is not a positive expected value play, getting it at minus 110. So no play on the total here, but if I had to guess, I would probably pick over. But most importantly, you want to look at the positive expected value page. You want to see if there are any positive EV bets as well. Now I locked in Oregon State plus 6.5. That was a plus EV play. I got them at plus, excuse me, plus 7. I still think they're worth taking at plus 6.5. But if you want to search specifically for a game, if there's a plus EV play, you just literally control F the team, USC, and it looks like you can get them Oregon State plus 7 at minus 122 on BetRivers. So if you wanted to buy that extra half point, sacrifice a little bit worse odds at minus 122, you could do that as well. Two good bets that I think are worthy of taking, either of them, Oregon State plus 6.5 on Caesars, or if you want to be a little bit safer, get that plus 7 at BetRivers at minus 122. You could do that as well. And those are my official predictions, official bets for this game. So if you are tailing, if you're riding with me on Oregon State, let me know. Would love to hear it. But that's it. So enjoy the game and have a good one.